Hey guys, so let's give blocking and blocking stamina a little break, and instead we're going to set up dodging and also invulnerability when we do perfect dodge. First thing, there is a link in the description that you can download this dodging animation, and it is already retargeted for SK Mannequin, so all you have to do is just select it and import it, and then don't forget to enable root motion, because we actually want the character to move forward during this animation. Save it, and then what we can also do, we can create anim montage, same name, we don't have to change anything, save it. And now the way I want to set up dodging is I want to do it instead of the jumping with the spacebar when we have weapon equipped. So we will be just jumping normally when we don't have weapon equipped, but as soon as we equip it, we will be dodging. Just because I feel like jumping in games and in combat doesn't look very good and it's quite outdated. And it is a little bit harder to set up as well to actually fit with your animations and everything. So I won't be doing that, but if you still want to keep your jump during combat, you can just set it up on different input action. So first thing, we need to go to jumping. I do have these nodes set up in event graph, so you just need to find this input action jump, and we do have this stuff for grabbing ledge and stuff, but we can only continue, we only need to continue after this branch. So here, I'll just drag this back, and we will set up jump as an action as well. So then we can check if we're jumping and if we can like toggle weapons or something. So that will prevent few issues as well. Let's set it up in gameplay tags. So under character and actions, we're going to add subtag, and this will be jumping. Add tag, and you should already have dodging as well. If you don't, just add another tag. And now here, first thing we want to do is get the macro, which is can execute action, branch. And as I said, if we can execute action, we also need to check if the weapon is equipped. So get gameplay tags, check if it has tag, and this will be in character, checks, and weapon equipped. Do another branch. Here it can be exact match as well, and if it's false, we will be jumping because we don't have weapon. But if it's true, we're going to set up new function, which will be for dodging. We can just call it dodge, and then go back here and connect it. So we will be enabling action after we finish dodging, so that will be done in a montage as always. But for jumping, it's a little bit different because jumping actually has a falling loop and stuff like that, and it only checks if you stop jumping on this function here on completed. So what we need to do for jumping is here we're going to call remove current action tag, and it will actually remove that jumping tag. But we don't want to do it on dodging as well, because now if we are dodging and then released spacebar, it would actually enable action and we would be able to spam dodging or doing attack during dodging and stuff like that. We don't want that, so again, copy this part, is weapon equipped, and this will go to false, so if it's not equipped, we will cancel action and stop jumping. Right, to continue here, as soon as we can execute action, we need to set current action. So get the function set current action tag, and this will be, oops, close this, and this will be dodging. So character actions dodging, and on the bottom here it will be character actions jumping. Compile it, and now what we need to do is, as I said, let's turn it off on the montage itself so we can execute another action after. So open the montage, and here in the end just find when the character is kind of already standing. Maybe here we want to right click and add notify can execute action, and we can also reset input. So add notify and reset input anim notify. I think I have renamed it off the video when I was testing it out. If you don't have reset input, it's reset action. What you need to do is go to blueprints, anim notifies, and this reset action needs to be reset input. It didn't make sense to me because we're not resetting action, we're actually resetting the input that we're pressing, so I renamed it. Save it, and now in the dodge we're going to check where is character moving, so in which direction, so we can actually dodge towards that direction. So we will get character movement, get vector, first velocity, so get velocity, from velocity get vector length, did I type it wrong? It's not get, it's just vector length. So vector length, and we will check if this is greater than 0, so if character is moving. There might be some issues if you leave it at 0 because sometimes it might not register correctly, so you need to change it to like very small values, something between 0 to 5, so I'll do like, I don't know, 3. And then branch, connect it, and if we are moving, we want to set actor rotation of the player, and we want to set it to rotation, which will be, we will get last input vector from character movement, which will be where we last moved, and from there we're going to do rotation from X vector, and this will give us rotation that we need to connect here. And then we can just play montage, anim montage, and so there is no play montage here because we are in the function. Play montage you can only access in event graph. Here we need to do play anim montage, which is the same, so it doesn't matter, it just has less options. And we need to select dodge. And this is pretty much all we have to do for dodge, but we will just improve it in a few ways. For now, if you were to like test out jumping with spacebar, it's working fine. You can jump multiple times. You cannot spam it. But then if I equip weapon, I can now dodge in any direction I want. So I move backwards, I'm dodging backwards, forwards, sideways, this side, this side, this side. That's working fine. Now, what I want to add is also when we're standing on a spot and not moving, at the moment you're not dodging or jumping or doing anything, I want to also dodge backwards. So where the camera is, basically you dodge towards the camera. You can also do it forward, but I think forward it can be quite messy. I think the backwards is better because then you can like be blocking with your shield and then you just dodge backwards. So for that, let's go back to this dodge function, and here on false, if we are not moving, we also need to set actor rotation. From there we can go back to play anim montage, but rotation will be, we will get actor rotation, so rotation of the player, and then we will get control rotation, which is rotation of the camera, where the camera is facing. We need to split struct pin, and split this one as well. And then we don't want to change rotation of the player of X and Y, because if you see these rotation values, you don't want to move character like this, okay, or sideways. You only want to move him on this axis, left to right. So X will be same, Y will be same, and get control rotation we need to connect here. But since this is a rotation of the camera, so camera is facing forward, this will just always roll forward. But as I said, I want the character to roll backwards. So I'm going to subtract 180 and connect it here. And now, if I play the game and pick up some weapons, equip them, and I'm standing on one spot, press space, and I'm going backwards towards camera. Okay, I can even run away from this guy without pressing any arrows, just by spamming dodge and moving my camera, which is as I wanted it. So that is working fine. And now there will be one more issue that I have noticed when I was testing it out a few times. Sometimes the input doesn't register in time. So if you move slightly towards front, so towards this side here, and I only press it lightly and then spam dodge, you can see I'm dodging towards this side, which is because it gives me rotation X is 0, and this is the side where the angle is 0. So it will be always facing just one side on the camera. And so sometimes when you just want to go to different direction, like forward, it doesn't register in time and it does it, so it goes wrong. So I don't really like it, but there is a way to actually prevent it, and that is that here we're going to do select rotator, and we need to check if this rotation from X vector, this is what is sometimes returning 0 because it's getting the last input. Sometimes, as I said, it doesn't register in time. So we need to check, so break it open, and we need to check if this Z is not equal 0. And we check it not equal 0 because it can be minus values or plus values, but we just don't want it to be 0. And if it's not equal 0, we will still do this one. But if it does equal 0, we need to split it. And then again, you can either do backwards towards camera, just in case that happens, or you can go forward where the camera is facing as well. So that's up to you. I think I'm going to do... I'll just do where the camera is facing instead of doing the reverse. That might be a bit better. So compile and save. And I connected right there. X, Y is the same, and Z is the control rotation of the camera. So that will be only picked when this happens, that it doesn't have any input vector in time. So now same thing that might have happened is if I rotate just slightly towards the front and press space. I'm still going backwards, by the way, I think. Ah, no, okay, it's working fine. I thought I'm going backwards, but that's when you're not holding anything. Let me just test it out one. Yeah, that's fine. Forward, right, left. Okay, perfect. That is working fine. And now you can also, like, I can block this guy and then release the block and go backwards, roll backwards away from him. And now we can set up the continue action, or the input that we have set up in the previous video. So we can actually press spacebar earlier, and then when we can execute action, he will roll. For that, let's go to, where am I? Event graph. So event graph, and here we do have continue action. And we got continue dodge. I'm going to rename this to continue spacebar now because we also have jumping there. So continue spacebar. That sounds a bit weird, but continue spacebar. And it should rename this one as well. Continue spacebar. And now Control and X, because we need to get it to this node. So go to jumping. By the way, I'm also going to rename this. This will be jumping slash dodging. And now the continue dodge will go before can execute action. And what happens now is, for example, if I start equipping weapon and then press spacebar here. That was too late maybe. Or if I dodge and press spacebar again. I'm not continuing dodge. What is that? Let me check it again. So continue, spacebar, can execute action. That will be something in the event graph. We haven't set current input. Oh my god, of course. So jumping here on the beginning, when we press spacebar, we will save that input. So set input buffer, and this will be dodge. Okay, now it should work. Now it should save that action even when I equip weapon. So equip spacebar, and as soon as I can execute that tag, I will dodge. Also, when I dodge, press spacebar now, and you can see I'm dodging. Dodge, spacebar, dodge in the end. Maybe I don't want to do it. I don't want to reset input so early, because then, for example, now I wouldn't like to dodge, but it still dodges. What you can do is just move this reset input. That way, if you press spacebar here, on this point it will still reset, and then only if you press spacebar or something else between this, it will save it. Hopefully it makes sense. I know it's a little bit difficult system, but it's just basically it's saving your button that you pressed next and executes that action here. And now we have that set up. What we want to do is set up invulnerability when we do perfect dodge. So let's say there is like 0.3 seconds in the beginning that you actually press spacebar and you don't want to get damaged. So for that we will have to add new gameplay tag, and this time we're going to do completely new section, which will be a completely new subtag to character. So next to character, do add subtag, and this will be status. Add new tag, and in the status later on we can add like stunned, burning, invulnerability, and all the other things. So for now we're going to add subtag, and this will be invulnerability. Add new tag, and for that we will need to do new notify state, because we want to have a starting point and ending point for notify. So right click, go to blueprints, blueprint class, notify, and this will be anim notify, selected, and we can call it perfect dodge underscore an. Like always, from animation notify we want to communicate with player or enemy by interface. So let's go to interfaces, combat BPI, and here we're going to do toggle perfect dodge, so we don't have to do like start perfect dodge and end perfect dodge. We'll just do toggle perfect dodge, or maybe invulnerability. Oh, perfect dodge is fine. Toggle perfect dodge, and here do input, and it will be boolean and is active. And now in this notify, which I haven't opened again, so perfect dodge, we're going to override functions. Did I create? I think I created animation notify instead of notify state, so delete it. Yeah, I did, yeah, of course. So create blueprint class, and it's notify state, not anim notify state, selected, and this is perfect dodge underscore ns. So now we can override on notify begin. We will get owner, and we will call toggle perfect dodge message, and here we will activate it when we receive the notify. Return value can be true as well, and on notify end we will do the same thing. So get owner and toggle perfect dodge. This time we will turn it off, so is active is false, but this one return not true because we have received that notify. Compile and save. And now on the dodge, I'm going to add, no, it's fine because it will be in the beginning, so we can add notify state, perfect dodge. I'm going to change this, so right click to time format seconds. As you can see, this dodge is only like 1.2 seconds. So I want it to have somewhere in the beginning. I'll leave a little space there and maybe to like 0.33. So 0.3 of a second will be perfect dodge. Maybe that's even too long. We'll see. And so now on this toggle perfect dodge, we need to set something in a player. So search for it, toggle perfect dodge, double click. I'm going to do it somewhere on the bottom here, and we'll do branch and get gameplay tags, add tag, add gameplay tag, which will be invulnerability, so status invulnerability on true, and on false we're going to remove gameplay tag, which will be same, so status invulnerability. So we're adding it and removing it, and now in the combat component, so right click, edit combat component. This is a mess. Gameplay tag, what is this? Action blocking. I think we can do it after we calculate this damage reduction. Move this further back, and again we're going to get owner and check. We do have a function that will get gameplay tags from the player, which is I think get gameplay tags or something. Get gameplay tags message that will get the gameplay tags from player, and we need to check if it has tag, and we're going to check for any tags under status. So select the status and don't do exact match, because now we will do branch. I need to move it even further back, so here. By the way, these ones are saved as a variable, so if you don't want to have these noodles here, just you can get like hit location, for example, hit location as a variable, okay, and just connect it directly. I'll probably do it off screen as well, but for now let's do this one. And if it has any status tags, we're going to switch on gameplay tags, switch on gameplay tag container, and then here we can actually remove default pin and do something on each tag that we select. So we will add character status invulnerability. We don't have anything else, but then on stun we can do something else, and we can like run different function that will calculate the damage in different way or something. On invulnerability, so on false it will go to here as it was before, and on true, on invulnerability we don't really need to do anything because we won't just connect it and it won't run any of this. So we won't be taking damage, we won't be doing the final damage or anything. So it will be all, the player will be invulnerable basically. So compile and save. And now one more thing, let's change in a combat component so the enemy will always hit us. So in event graph, change the line trace here to radius like, I don't know, 500. Is that too much? That's too much. 300. And I'm going to draw for duration, so we can actually see if he hits us. So you can see he's hitting me now. But now if I equip weapon, and okay, come here. See, you didn't hear any sound. He missed me. I need to put in the headphones because I don't hear. So he's hitting me normally. he hit me this time, and this time he missed because I dodged. Okay, so there is that window for perfect dodge when I don't take any damage. Yeah, he hit me this time, miss, hit me, hit me. So that's why it's perfect dodge. You basically need to know when to actually dodge. Missed me this time. Right, so that's working perfect as I wanted. I'm going to change this back to what it was, 30. If you want to have it easier, if you want to have easier game, you can extend this to perfect dodge. If you want to have it harder, that only when you actually press the thing you can miss it, you'll make it shorter. And that's it. So hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.